Hello and welcome to my channel. So in this video, I will be doing a reading for the month ahead of June for the Aries personality. So looking at themes that are coming up for you, things to look forward to, and how to navigate the energy of June for Aries. So for this reading, I'm going to be using the Aleister Crowley Thoth Tarot Deck, and I'm also going to use the Angel Guide Oracle Deck by Kyle Gray. So without further ado, getting into it. So for Aries, please, what are the main themes coming up? Oh, hello. Bit jumpy, but let's see what comes out, shall we? What do the cards have to say? June, Aries, please. Okay, we've got one. I'll show you them in a second. Nice. All right, one more. Oh, there we go. There it is. Oh, love this. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll show you the cards first and then we'll talk through them. So first of all, Six of Cups, pleasure. Actually, I'll hold it a little bit longer, just see what you get from the card. I always encourage you to take in what you're getting as well as what I'm saying. Then we've got Four of Discs, power. So again, just having a look at that for this month ahead. What's coming through for you. And we've got Nine of Cups, happiness. Okay, so this is nice. So it looks like a really, honestly, the first word that came to my mind, because we've got the Four of Discs here, is stability. So it feels like it has been tricky for Aries. I know in particular, we saw a lot of challenges in April. I think it was April when all of the stuff was going on for like in your house, in your sign, sorry. And I know that Aries were getting hit with a lot of things. And now it feels like we're really coming into a month of of pleasure, stability, and fulfillment. So this card really often speaks of fulfillment, and maybe and with pleasure being here as well, like it feels like, like things really coming together, things coming to fruition, a sense of maybe financial stability coming through as well for some of you if you've been sort of struggling a little bit with your like material financial world, that you might be seeing more of that stability. Again, that was the first word that came to my head, so that feels really important to say that. And that, honestly, like just thinking about that, I just feel this huge like relief. Like for some of you, this has been really, really like welcomed. Like you've really needed this. Things have felt very unstable, and now things feel a lot more, like there's structures in place. What always jumps out about this card for me as well is the fact that there is a very clear structure on the card. So this could also speak to a need to create some structure. So for some of you is that you're going to have more stability and more financial stability, or maybe stability in the form of like a job, like a job role being secured, getting a new job that's like kind of like more certain now. But it could also be a need to create some structures in your life. This is the Sun in Capricorn card. So you've got the Sun glyph there with Capricorn. So a need to create some systems in your life as well, like as a theme, to make things smoother and easier, if that makes sense. Oh, this is nice. Okay, so big breakthrough for Aries in June, please. I feel like there's more to say on that, but we'll come to it in a moment. Okay. Ah, lovely. Four of Swords, truce. Okay, so this is interesting. This is a breakthrough, this card often speaks of the need to rest, the need to take a bit of a break. Again, it's a 4. So there's something really about this, because this is the one that's jumping out the most, even though the other 2 cards are lovely. They're really nice. But there's something about this. They're both 4s, and 4s are a place of rest and stability. So it's like maybe it's been really difficult for you to rest recently. Things have been very chaotic. And now it's like things are slowing down. And what I'm hearing as well is like you're coming to a place of integration. So the thing about instability and chaos is that like it can bring a lot of growth, which can be amazing. But we also need periods of time where we're not just growing, we're integrating that from which we have grown from, if that makes sense. So we need to rest, to reflect, to contemplate, to just sort of like allow ourselves to enjoy what is here, you know, instead of like always looking for the next thing. And it's like what's pushing forth and what's happening next. It's like now it's like, okay, like I've done the work and now I can actually just like enjoy what is here. And like it doesn't look like a really action filled month so far. I mean, we've not got any wands. We've got a few cups. Cups is more about the emotional well-being, and with it being like 2 of my favorite cups cards, if you like, because you've got 10 cups and then you've got the suits. But yeah, like the 6 and the 9 are really nice ones. Not that you should say things are nice, but yeah, we always get what we need. Okay, so something to look forward to for Aries in June, please. Interesting. Again, Knight of Discs. Sorry, I say again because what Knight of Disc really speaks of to me is stability. I'm sorry, I know I'm repeating myself so much here, but it's stability. It can also indicate, again, a sense of financial like security, stability, all of these kinds of things. Being in a place of yeah, like feeling very safe with where you are, like that. It feels like that's what you really needed. For some of you, it's like you've not really felt safe for some time, and it does feel like it's in the context of your material world. So whether that's finances, your career, or your home, or something like that. And something to look forward to is either that wealth is coming in, because Knight of Discs can often speak of like, you know, the king of the land, like having the wealth, having the abundance. But I feel like it's more this sense of security, something to look forward to, feeling, yeah, safe. That feels really important, actually. Like you've really needed that. And what a blessing. So that's really nice. That's so nice to be able to share that with you. Okay. So guidance on how to navigate June. Just a few too many fell out there. For the Aries personality, please. Okay, 2 came out there. I'll take them. Interesting. We've got here 5 of Swords, defeat. And we've got the Empress. Very different messages. So I will speak to the Empress first. The Empress is the Venus card. As you can see at the bottom of the deck, the card there, sorry, that's the Venus glyph. So with it being a guidance question, this to me sort of would indicate like being more in your creative energy, being in a more receptive energy as well. Like Venus is very receptive rather than charging forth. Again, we see no wands here. So I'm really not seeing an awful lot of taking action, pushing forth, charging ahead energy at all, honestly. And with the Five of Swords here, which is interesting, it feels kind of like a need to surrender, honestly. Like, okay, this is interesting. So it feels like there's maybe for some of you, like you have been pushing very hard and striving, and you're an Aries, so I can see that. um, but it is sometimes about accepting defeat, which is a bit of a weird thing. Like that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's like it's more like a need to surrender and not push so hard and being gentler. We do have the Four of Swords here, truce. Yeah, there's really something about being more in a feminine energy as well, of like again receptivity rather than like outward and pushing. It's more about receiving and filling up your own cup with all of these cups here as well, filling up your own cup. Creating stability for yourself as well, it could be. So it's either that you're feeling more stable or you're creating more stability, creating more structures for yourself, and being in this more, like, has been a bit of a theme in general recently where it's not always about pushing, it's more about being the receiver, resting, taking care of your body. Venus also is very big on the body, like being in our bodies, not so much in our head. And I'm also hearing, like, this is actually a very specific thing that I'm hearing, but like maybe adopting some more feminine practices like dancing and things, because um, that's a really good way of getting into the body and out of the head, and to just sort of like integrate some stuff like somatically, if that makes sense. Maybe for some of you that will really resonate, but that is quite a specific message that might not be for everybody. So overall what I'm seeing is like, really taking care of yourself and nourishing yourself this month, and enjoying what is already here, enjoying the earthly pleasure as well. Venus is also, so the Empress is also, because it's the Venus card, Venus's ruler is Taurus. Taurus is all about the bodies, about earthly pleasures, and we've got the pleasure card. So again, there's really something here about, like, I'm kind of getting a visual of, just enjoying like food and like, tasting things and being more sensual, not necessarily sexual. It's more like enjoying the sensual pleasure that June will bring. And I can see some people maybe like going on holiday and just like enjoying, being in, like, tasting different food and just like relaxing and nourishing themselves, and that kind of thing is what I'm really getting through. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull some oracle cards for some additional guidance for Aries. Yeah, there's definitely... Sorry, I feel like I'm just getting more from the cards. Filling up your own cup. Taking care of you. This could also indicate a need for boundaries as well, as what I'm getting here, like a need to put in some more boundaries so that you can take care of you first and not over, like, spreading yourself too thin for other people is also like a message that I'm getting for some of you. Like maybe you've been a bit of a caretaker for a lot of people and now it's like all about you. Yes. Okay, so additional okay, thank you. Take a step back. Yeah. Again, it's like not a time for action, which is lovely. I mean, that might be, for some of you, that might be hard to hear. I love this message personally. I'm always like, thank you for telling me not to do stuff. Like, tell me that every day. But with you being Aries, maybe that's a bit challenging because I imagine that you're quite, fiery and want to do stuff, but it's really like about taking a step back, integrating. And also what I'm getting from this card, like, is sort of connecting to something spiritual, like having a sort of like, again, this sort of introspective practice of some sort. Like if that resonates for you, like having a look at something that maybe more meditation, maybe more like journaling, like something that kind of allows you to connect to something more in a more spiritual way, developing some kind of practice. Okay. Oh, hello. Oh, lovely. Compassion. Yeah. So where you need to be more compassionate and kind to yourself this month. Yeah, so self-compassion, maybe for some of you as well, extending compassion to others. Like maybe there's a need for like forgiveness for some of you. Again, this feels quite specific, it won't be for everybody, but I need to, maybe this month it's about like doing some healing around some other people who have maybe hurt you this month. But it does feel more like being gentler on yourself in general and like practicing um being kinder with your words to yourself, like taking note of how you're speaking to yourself. Are you pushing yourself and rushing yourself and stressing out your nervous system in your body? And if you are, like, where is that coming from? So it could be a good question of inquiry in all of this sort of self-reflection, like why do I push myself to the point of burnout and breaking point? And how can I be kinder to myself? And what would kindness look like? Like maybe it is about taking more breaks when you actually want the break rather than pushing through all of the time. I keep saying that because it feels like for some of you that's where you've been operating from, of just like sort of pushing through, and now it's like we need a gentler, more feminine way. Not to say that feminine is only gentle, but I'm just saying like the as a feminine archetype, like Venus in particular, is very much about like sort of gentleness, kindness, you know? One more card, please. There it is. Thank you. Manifestation. Lovely. So you've got potential for really strong manifestation power this month. But it does feel like, again, it's this very Venus way of doing it. So it's about being the receiver rather than pushing and striving. Like if you can actually rest and integrate all of the lessons that you have had to deal with for these last few months, then your manifestation power will be like much more potent, is what it feels like. But it feels like you need to do it in a different way because, again, I feel like I'm repeating myself here, but it's learning how to manifest in a way with more ease and more like gentleness, more compassion, more of this Venus energy, more in this like resting from a place of pleasure, you know, like surrendering, kind of admitting defeat, not always having to be like the force that you are, if that makes sense. But yeah, a month for introspecting, definitely going inward, taking a step back, not taking on too much responsibility this month as well. Like with this card is kind of what I'm getting, the taking a step back, like not taking on too much responsibility, I think is going to be really, really important. Boundaries, which you are good at as an Aries. So yeah, protecting yourself, saying no, and taking care of you, coming back to you, filling up your own cup. Like that's what this month's all about, which is lovely. I love this so much for you. Yes, amazing. Okay, I think that's everything. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that was helpful. As always, leaving a comment and like lets me know if you're enjoying this content. If you're not sure what to say, just leave your favorite emoji, maybe a little heart. I do love hearts. And yeah, if you think someone else would benefit from this as well, sharing it with them and subscribing if you like this content as well also really helps the channel grow. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you all on the next one. Mwah!